Mars retrograde is starting right now. And this one is going to lead us into 2025. And it's a call to confront our desires. So on December 7th, 2024, Mars turns retrograde at 6 degrees Leo, and the reversal is for nearly 3 months. So what's going to happen is Mars is going to appear to be going backwards in the sky and back towards Cancer from Leo. And that's not going to resume forward motion until February 24th, 2025 at 17 degrees Cancer. Mars retrograde is a rare event. It occurs once every 26 months to be exact. And Mercury, for example, goes 3 times a year in retrograde, and other planets do it, once annually, pretty much. But the infrequency of Mars retrogrades make it a potent period for transformation. This is not a time to dismiss or downplay, okay? This period, these next 3 months where Mars is retrograding, it's a time to pay attention, to think about what kind of actions you want to do and reflect. What does Mars retrograde mean? What does it even mean? When Mars goes retrograde, that familiar drive that's inside of us that propels us to go forward, it takes this weird, unexpected turn. So it's kind of like if you've ever driven a car without power steering, that happened to me only one time. That's why I can do this example. So basically, a modern car has power steering. That just means that every movement that the wheel does, it's smooth, it's effortless, the car is responsive. You can make a sharp turn with just the flick of the wrist, no problem. But when you're driving a car without power steering, every turn of the wheel requires a physical effort. It's not easy. It's not at all. It feels clunky. It feels heavy. It feels unresponsive. So the only one time I had to do this was the first time I went to Italy. I was just 18 years old, and my boyfriend at the time, he was my boyfriend, hurt his arm. So he couldn't drive. So the car was a stick shift, which luckily I knew how to drive a stick shift, but I didn't know about the no power steering thing. I had no clue. I'd never driven a car without power steering. And so, I just what is wrong with this car? It was so hard to turn the wheel and move and parallel park in Italy. Gosh, not easy. Anyway, that's the essence of what I'm talking about. And that's the essence of this Mars retrograde. There's a momentum. The car goes, no problem. But every action that we have to do, it requires more effort. You have to actually move the car with your steering wheel instead of the car doing it itself. And so simple maneuvers, like you usually feel instinctive and easy, all of a sudden become kind of awkward, kind of laborious, and you might even doubt yourself. I remember getting into that car and just being like, I don't know how to drive. I have no clue how to do this. And eventually I figured it out, right? It's not that big of a deal. But at first, it's it takes a lot of energy. And that's how this Mars retrograde situation is. It's not a time of stillness. Things are still moving, but you kind of have to fight for it. You have to fight to get the car to go the right way. And that struggle is the whole point. That's why it's interesting. That's why Mars retrogrades are different. It doesn't want you to move on autopilot. It wants you to feel every inch of that wheel in your hands, and the power is in your hands. Everything you need to do to shift that balance, it's your deal. So Mercury retrograde is like pause and reflect, right? All the RE words. Mars retrograde is pause, reassess, and then pursue with precision. Mars retrograde timeline, 2024 to 2025. I'm going to put all the dates in the description below. Basically, it runs from October 5th, 2024. That's when Mars entered its shadow at 17 degrees Cancer. And if you recall, that's where it's going to stop again. It's going to station to go back direct again. There's a bunch of stuff. So basically, by the time we get to May, that's going to be the end of this whole entire series. That's when it leaves its shadow at 6 degrees Leo. Oh, I'm going to go play ukulele today. We got to practice because we're going to sing for an elderly group. And so we're practicing today. My mom's on the way and I got to get this video done for you. So I'm just going to keep going. Okay. Now that timeline tells a story. This is so Mars retrograde. It's like, hurry up. Okay. This timeline tells a really big story, and the themes are the events that arise around these dates. They're interconnected. They build a thread, and so it's a story over time. The moment Mars enters its shadow, that's when the story begins, and then Mars turns retrograde, the plot twists happen, and then when Mars goes direct, the resolution is in sight. That's the process. Okay, the the weird-ish cool thing, I don't know what to call it, but Mars is going to oppose Pluto this whole time, and that's a clash of wills. So that's the most intense feature of it, and that stretches from November 2024 to April 2025. It's significant. Maybe I should do a whole video just on that. But Mars is symbolizing this raw, untamed force of personal will, and Pluto symbolizes a deeper hidden power structure. So I thought, wow, this feels to me like a comparison of a lion and a lion tamer. Now, Mars is the lion. Lion is raw instinct, courage, ferocity, and is driven by its hunger, by its desire, acting on impulse, right? And it has natural power. Mars in Leo has natural power to take what it's wanting, but the energy is wild and unpredictable. Okay, the lion tamer is Pluto. It represents the force that seeks to dominate that raw power, the lion. It's the lion tamer using strategy, fear, psychological influences to master that lion. The lion could bite his freaking head off whenever it wants, but it doesn't. The tamer has the psychological upper hand on the lion. And that mastery is fragile, though. If that lion tamer does one thing wrong, it's over and all the control can be lost. When Mars and Pluto oppose each other, it's like watching that lion grow restless in the arena. And there's a face-off. The tamer is holding the whip, and the lion figures out that it's strong. And at any moment, that balance of power could shift. So the opposition here manifests an external power struggle and internal power control struggles. What is this controlling us? And that is about dominance, about autonomy. So who's holding the whip in your life? I don't know, it's a weird thing to say. Is somebody holding the whip over you in your life is probably the question. If it maybe is a boss or a partner or a family member, or perhaps an old version of you who still plays by outdated rules. Sometimes the lion tamer is not a person at all. It's a belief system or an internalized expectation that we have, or an impossible situation where you feel like you're caught between needing to assert yourself and then like fearing the consequences if you do assert yourself. Now, this is a perfect period to think about your power, reclaiming your power, but it won't come through passive reflection. This is a bold action, a confrontation, standing your ground in the face of control. So I'll have to finish this another time because I gotta go play ukulele now. And I'm also having a dinner party today. But I really wanted to just jump on here. Ooh, there's so much more. Okay, I'll finish this, I promise. I like you just the way you are. I hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll talk to you soon. Okay.